What I really like with this episode of Recreators is I saw a lot of people speculating, what if Blitz's daughter isn't actually brought back and it's some sort of illusion? What if it's the dating sim girl who her ability is to like basically look like someone else? And I was thinking to myself last week when I saw people speculate this, if they actually went that route, I'd be incredibly disappointed, because there's no reason why they couldn't write a character back to life as long as it has the approval of the audience. So I'm really happy that this is 100% Blitz's daughter. There's no manipulation, there's no kind of like craziness there, because if they did, I would have been very disappointed, to be 100% honest. Not to mention, they also explain how his creator survived a gunshot and shows that she did have a bulletproof vest on, so that clears up a little bit of a plot hole that could have been there if they never showed that, even though it was just like a quick like her just like taking off her top kind of a thing and showing that she had a bulletproof vest. But this episode is good. I saw some people saying like, where's this character or where's this character? But the final battle just started last week, so we didn't have to rush in at anything, and we're seeing all the characters now, what's going on. The dating sim girl, she has some power up, and her creator, for the first time, I kind of like smiled at her creator because he's so proud of himself and getting the approval of his audience to have this like ridiculously like fan servicey outfit with powers and things like that. That was awesome. As well with, I think it was Yuya, I believe is his name, but essentially he basically spoils his like nemesis, saying like, hey, I never killed your sister and your best friend. It was actually the guy who lied to you, kind of a thing. And the audience is like freaking out with this revelation, and the creator of him is saying like, how am I supposed to write my next book if you just spoiled the events for this guy? Like, what's going on? I just think this entire battle is so just ridiculous, but also so entertaining and also pretty well written all at the same time. It was just amazing to see things like that, because you just have so much comedy but also serious stuff just meshed into one, and now Blitz is working for the good guys, because essentially the good guys are the one who brought back his daughter. Are you going to let, Altair like take out your daughter? Like, no, you're gonna fight for us now. So I really enjoyed that. But the thing I think that is the most interesting with this week's episode of Recreators is actually the stuff with our main character and Magane. Now, Magane was a wild card after last week. Like, what was she going to do? Was she going to screw with our main character? What exactly was going to happen? When in actuality, she helped our main character essentially become a creator. Because our main character has essentially been blaming himself and has beaten himself up for the death of his best friend, and for obvious reasons. And Magane uses her ability of twisting words to essentially get him onto his feet and become essentially a main character, no longer hiding in the shadows, so he can now essentially, in theory, create things. I'm gonna be very interested if, honestly, our main character has the ability that he could revive his dead friend by making his dead friend a character, but the character interacts with the human world, so after all of this is done, she could still exist in the human world. I feel like that's going to happen. I truly believe that our main character is going to be able to essentially revive his dead friend by making her a character of a story, but her story interacts with the human world forever, or something like that. I feel like they're going to write in something like that, and essentially, if they can revive her, then Altair will no longer have any real purpose of destroying the world if the world brought back her dead creator, kind of a thing. And I feel like they're gonna go that route, but I really was just kind of surprised and wowed that they went the route of making Magane help our main character just because she wants to do what's most fun, and to her, Altair not knowing what's going on or her failing and the look of disgust and despair could be the most entertaining thing, so she helps our main character. I think it's going to be interesting seeing how Soda's going to go forward now that he's kind of been removed of the shackles that were holding him down, and I truly believe he is going to revive Setsuna. I think it was Setsuna was her name, and basically that's going to kind of like solve everything, and also is going to kind of wrap up everything here. I feel like that's the route they're going to go, but then again, they can go 1,000 different ways, because this is Recreators. They've shown us that they can do some crazy things, even Magane helping Soda. Like, who would have thought that would happen? I think Recreators is doing a good job. There's a couple of CGI little bits that were a little kind of iffy near the end of the episode, but the overall art quality and animation, I had a blast watching it, especially with the OST. It was just entertaining, finally seeing this battle take place, similar to last week. It's nice seeing all these different characters clash, their different ideals, but also seeing how some of the enemies are now being recruited over to the good guys' side, and essentially, Altair is probably not going to have any real allies by the time this fight's getting close to being over with, and that's going to be entertaining. But I'm really excited to see where ultimately this show is going to end up. If there are going to have a 100% good end where we're going to have Soda's friend being revived, things like that, which I'd be fine with. They've done a pretty good job at like implementing a good rule set for this world, and essentially now that Soda's been kind of freed of his shackles, it'll be interesting to see what he can do going forward, kind of a thing. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do. I wish I had the last few episodes of the series, because I really want to see how this fight's going to ultimately end up and where everything's going to end by the end of this series. I had a blast, so I think definitely the stuff with Soda and Magane is my favorite of the entire episode. But just seeing how Blitz's daughter is 100% alive, also just the stuff with Yuya and stuff, there was some really funny dialogue in this episode, but at the same time, a lot of interesting plot progression, and just who would have thought that the dating sim girl would in fact actually have abilities by the time this series is going to be over. It's just entertaining. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your favorite moment, and how are you feeling about Sota now being freed of his shackles and essentially can now be the main character everyone was pissed off that he wasn't acting like? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Before I leave, smack that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.